Okay. I'll be the first one to admit that maybe we don't fully need rocket boots in Generation Zero, but let me tell you dudes, even if you aren't a fan of this idea outright, just wait, because this is totally not what you'll expect it to be. So what's going on, everyone? My name's Tenebris Infinite, and today we're going to talk about the advanced movement system from 1970s Soviet-era Russia that would be a radical new method of transportation, and an idea that is highly malleable into a number of different potentials here in Generation Zero. What we're talking about today are rocket boots. And right off the bat, you might already be thinking, this dude's just talking about flying with rockets strapped to his boots. And even though, yeah, that would be really sick to see, have some sort of Star-Lord style flying boots in Generation Zero, but what I'm talking about are these. These wacky bouncing boots would actually be so sick to see in Generation Zero, and no, I'm not even joking here. This would harken back to the days of stamina jumping in Generation Zero, way back to year one, would offer us unique combat advantages, faster than average movement speed, and the ability to have one of the weirdest sprint animations in all of video games. If we don't get these boots per se, I do think that this idea still has some room for it to show up, even at least just spiritually. With the advent of machine body modification in Generation Zero, there are tons of ways we could have some inspiration for unique mods that we could alter ourselves with. And heck, if that doesn't work, we still have the Soviets themselves to look at. So, first up, why the weird bouncing rocket boots? And, well, the idea is a solution to a small problem we encounter in the game. Running out of stamina way too soon for your average traversal. Stamina works fine and well in combat situations, but when you're traveling, like, way up the farmlands, you'll be moving rather slow, and likely just fast travel to a location nearby where you're headed, instead of traveling by foot or by bike even. These rocket boots would give us the option of having a vanity item that would give us unlimited sprinting stamina at the cost of accuracy. And that unlimited sprinting stamina would be due to us literally jumping all over the place while we move. Like, here, for comparison, our normal approach versus rocket boot approach. With us jumping all over the place, aiming would really suffer, but you could potentially get used to it and use that unlimited sprinting and maybe movement speed boost to get some unique advantages on machines, especially the slower ones. And in all honesty, I use a tactical jump every once in a while to get the advantage on a machine's components in general. It works wonders on links and runners and hunters in close quarters. That plus the PVG can be a quick one-shot to a machine if you get the angle and your timing right. Now, of course, this doesn't have to just be in the form of us literally taking these boots and using them in-game. There's a number of downsides to the original concept that maybe wouldn't translate to good gameplay. Even if it would be funny gameplay, it might not be worthwhile enough for players to really use too much. But with machine body modification, we can kinda revisit the idea of unlimited stamina that would ultimately serve to make open world traversal faster and combat to pick up a notch or two from our end. We're going to be talking more about machine body modification in a full video at some point here on my channel, but for now the concept of replacing our legs with machine body parts has been introduced through the Matryoshka reports. And this is an idea I think is really awesome. Slapping machine limbs onto ours and having them give us advantages would raise the bar, allowing for even crazier machines to come our way to fight. A win-win in my books. So if we were to replace our legs with a hunter, or say a runner's legs, maybe we could have that infinite stamina via another means. one that doesn't force us to bounce around comically, potentially killing the vibe for players. But still, in regards to jumping, having the hunter jump would really give us that unique angle to fire from, as we talked about before, and even use the jump to evade attacks. Imagine countering a hunter jump attack with a hunter jump of your own, the ultimate Uno reverse card. There's this dude that actually took the concept of the old Soviet-era rocket boots and made a modern version of them, and they look pretty similar to a runner's legs even. So you could kind of picture how those would work on our character with the real-life comparison. Not so much the bright red boots, but more so the contraption slapped on them. And circling back to machine abilities that we could make use of, the runner dash attack could actually serve as a huge benefit too. Age-old tech I came up with called Hunter Flechette jumps use the Hunter Flechette knockback to launch you radically in a direction. The runner's dash could be a controllable form of the same quick movement burst as the HFJ, and that would be so dang spicy to use. But hey, if the advent of machine body modification doesn't happen, then maybe if we see human enemies pop up in Generation Zero, we can see Soviets using these boots against us. Bouncing enemies might be kind of fresh in the game. We do have ticks, but like actual enemies that shoot back? It might be kinda crazy. They'd potentially be really fast opponents too. Really, the Soviet exo units could wind up being pretty tough opponents if they ever come around as one. There is videos out there that show these rocket boots as being like faster than sprinting speeds, so that might potentially mean that we'll have to deal with some really fast exo units that are just bouncing all over the place. There are tons of wacky and borderline insane things from Soviet-era Russia that would be wild to see here in Generation Zero. So if you have any ideas of some, throw them up in the comments, but it's something that we're going to be discussing as we go along here. But from infinite stamina to bouncing advantages to body mods to the crazy things the Soviets thought up, what do you think of rocket boots? Am I losing it at this point, or is this the best idea I've ever had? You be the judge. But for now, thank you for hearing me out and watching this video. Have an absolutely wicked day, and I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, peace.